So your conjunction and interjection quiz will be on Wednesday in Socrative. And I will, again, you will have all the steps. I will be available for email. I'll be available at 1 to 2 o'clock. So there are 4 different sections on your conjunction quiz. The first section will be find the conjunction. Now, it will say find the fanboy conjunction in this sentence, or it will say find the swabby conjunction in this sentence. Whichever it is, hold on a second. I want to see just me. Oops. I want to see just me. Can I do that? There we go. All right. So you will have, it will say find the conjunction in the sentence. So it will say either, I have a dog and a cat, and find the and boys conjunction, or find the fanboys conjunction, or it will say find the swabby conjunction, and it will be there. I won't try to trick you. I won't try to mess you up. I won't like throw 3 different types of conjunctions in there. It will basically just be a conjunction. Thank you, Caitlin. That's a good screen to do. So that part I'm not too concerned with. The only problems that sometimes we have with those is that sometimes people will say that words like the is a conjunction. Sometimes you find smaller words. You have to remember that it's doing the job of combining words, phrases, and clauses. So for example, let me see you guys so I can see thumbs up or thumbs down. If I said the sentence, he was so tall, is so a conjunction? Thumbs up or thumbs down? He was so tall. Yeah, it is not a conjunction. If I said he is so tall, so is an adverb that tells me how tall that person is. Okay, he is so tall. If I said he is tall, so he hits his head on the door, then yes, that is a conjunction. It combines 2 complete thoughts. He is so tall, or he is tall, and he hits his head on a door. That sentence leads me to the biggest mistake we made on our homework. And this is going to be a part in the quiz that I think you would want to take a look back at some of those lessons on No Red Ink to double check. And the next part of the quiz is which sentence is punctuated correctly. Now, many of you got feedback from me on the homework because you put commas after your fanboy conjunctions, and that's a big no-no. What I mean is this. A lot of you wrote, I can sing, but my sister can dance. And lots of you put the comma here. That is not correct. The comma does not go after the conjunction. Where does the comma go? Someone yell it out for me. Where does the comma go?
Before the conjunction.
Before the conjunction. I can sing is one clause. My sister can dance is the other clause. And you put comma conjunction. Everyone in your head or out loud, comma conjunction, comma conjunction, comma conjunction, comma conjunction, right? You want comma first, then your conjunction. So with fanboys, that was the most common mistake people made. You wrote beautiful sentences, but you put the comma in the wrong place. And on the quiz, what will happen is it will say which sentence is punctuated correctly. And this will be choice A, and choice B will say the same thing, but it will have the comma after, and choice C might just have no comma. So it's going to ask you which one is written the right way. And we do this, okay, right, Abby? We do this the right way so that, or we do this so that we can try to find out. Now, you're going to be taking high school placement tests soon, and which is going to happen in the blink of an eye. And you're going to want to make sure that you know where that comma goes. And it's going to say the same kind of deal. It's going to say where is the sentence that's written correctly. So when we have fanboys, it's the comma, then the conjunction. There's different types of conjunctions, and each conjunction does a different job. So those fanboys, they combine things or they relate them. We talk about the thamos ones. Now those have more than, I just told comma conjunction, comma conjunction, comma conjunction. Then you have thamos, and they do a different rule. What's the rule with thamos? Can anyone remember? The rule with thamos conjunctions, therefore, and hence, and as if, and meanwhile. Dylan, you remember?
It goes like before a sentence, and then there's a comma after it, like meanwhile, comma.
You could do that. If it comes in the middle, though, I watched Avengers, semicolon, meanwhile, my sister watched. I haven't spelled in a while. It's getting a little tricky for me. Watch. I don't know. Right? Now this one is where we're confused. I said comma conjunction, comma conjunction, comma conjunction. This thamos has semicolon, comma, pairing. So thamos, for those of you who watch Avengers, I always like to think of Thanos, the guy that had the infinity ring or the infinity stone, and it has this little comma with an infinity stone there. So when we have the bigger, trickier conjunctions, we need two punctuation pieces. We need the semicolon and the comma. Dylan was also talking about how sometimes it says my sister, meanwhile, that might be in the middle. Semicolon, my sister, comma, meanwhile. So we have to know each type of conjunction so we know the rules they have. Any questions about fanboys or thamos before I go on to the swabbies? Because those are tricky too. All right, so let's talk about swabbies for a second. Swabbies, since, whenever, after, swabby, because, that's a big one, and if. This is probably the number one mistake, not only that you guys make, but that grown-ups make. Like when I edit grown-ups in their writing, when you put a swabby in the middle, after all of this talk, that gets no punctuation. So I teach grammar because it is so awesome. Right? I teach grammar because it is so awesome. There is no comma needed if it flows. If it just keeps going through, the sentence flows. Now, who here remembers, thumbs up or thumbs down, has a teacher ever told you don't start a sentence with the word because? Anyone ever have a sentence? Yep, Avi's had a teacher, Mary's had a teacher. Here's why we teachers, Annabelle has a teacher, here's why we say that. We say that because many people will write a sentence like this. I teach grammar, period, capital B, because it is so awesome. This is what goes wrong. This is a fragment. This is not a sentence. Because it is so awesome, what? Now, you can start the sentence with because if you write it like this. Because it is so awesome, what? How can I finish that so it's actually good? So it actually makes sense.
It's so awesome and like fun.
Okay, so I could do because it is so awesome, comma, what, Michael?
So awesome, comma, like.
You can take what I wrote before and add it to the end.
Do you remember? Oh, no, I can't really see the board, so I can't read it.
Okay, so the sentence I had before was, I teach grammar because it is so awesome. I can take those two clauses and flip it. I can say, because it is so awesome, comma, I teach grammar. Okay, so we can have a sentence that starts with because. We can have a sentence that starts with because it is so awesome, comma, I teach grammar. So you can have a sentence start with a swabby conjunction as long as you do put the comma then in the middle. So it's tricky. You have three different rules. You have comma conjunction for fanboys. You have semicolon comma for thamos. And you have no commas in the middle for swabbies. So that's why it's important for us to kind of separate those three. Don't forget, we also have the correlative, the partners. The correlative conjunctions like not only, but also, or either or. Can anyone think of another pairing that we use? Any? Nope. Neither nor. Or just as so. One of the fifth graders came up with a mnemonic for this one because I said I didn't have a mnemonic. It said Jenna B. I thought that was a great mnemonic. So Jenna B for the correlative conjunction. So the big part of the grammar quiz that I want to make sure you go really slow on and look at your choices carefully is the which sentence is punctuated correctly, because it's going to be the difference of a comma or not. What are your questions on which sentence is punctuated correctly? Does anyone want me to write an example for them? We're all good?
Can you write a sentence first on Swabby for me?
Sure. So let me write it two different ways for you, Michael. So a Slavic conjunction, again, that's going to be since. Let me write this a little bigger for you, sorry. Since, when, after, before, oh, sorry. I guess because or before, because, or if, okay? So if I said, if I study, I will do well. Where do I need punctuation? Where would it go? What do you think, Michael? If I study, I will. Do I need punctuation? If so, where do you think it goes?
Before the well.
That's if I do here. If I study, I will do well. Does that sound good?
No.
Now, remember the comma works as a pause. So, Michael, if this was a line that Pinocchio was saying in the play, where would he pause?
If?
Here? If?
So it'd be like if, comma.
Yeah. You want it between the two complete thoughts. What's my first complete thought?
Oh, it go right between it go between study and well. If I study, comma,
Yeah.
I will do well.
If I study, comma, I will do well. Right? Yeah. So if I study is my first thought. My second thought is I will do well. Good. You're learning too, Samantha. Good. Now, same thing. If I switch this though, and I put the if in the center, then I don't need punctuation. I will do well. It keeps flowing if I study. And this is the trickiest part because we're working so hard to learn what punctuation goes where. And sometimes the thing that we have to learn is you just don't do punctuation here. For the Swabies, if it comes in the middle, this is our conjunction here, this is our conjunction here. We're saying the same thing. But if the conjunction comes in the middle and it's a Swabi, do nothing. If it comes at the beginning, it goes there. So that same rule is for since, when, after, because, and if. Now, I want to use this sentence to illustrate another problem that some of us had on the homework. And some people did, I'm trying to think. Let's do this. All right, so some people did this. When I study, I will do well. It's not awful, but it's not our best choice, right? When I study, I will do well. I will do well. Well, when I study, because of this word will. If I said when I study, I do well, that's okay. But because I have this word will here, it's not my best choice. Some of us on our homework, we're throwing in weird conjunctions into our sentences just because I think you thought, okay, well, I have to use each word once. So something like dolphins are good swimmers if they live in water. right? So some people would do something like that. Is that the best way to say what we mean here? Someone unmute and answer for me. Dolphins are good swimmers if they live in water. Do you think that's the best way to say it?
No.
No, it's not. And it's not awful, but it means that there are some dolphins that don't live in water. So you have to make sure you're choosing the right ones. Of these swabby words here, which one would be the best answer? Dolphins are good swimmers.
Since is what I would say.
Since they live in water or because they live in water?
Since or because.
Yeah. A big reason we do this is because my neighbors are working at their desk and waving at me from across the street. We do this because in a blink of an eye, you guys are going to be taking high school placement tests. And this is a huge section on that high school placement test. Which sentence is written correctly? Where's the mistake? Or more importantly, choosing the right conjunction. So if you're going slow, make sure, yes, because would be another one. Good. You could also because here, definitely, Michael. Yeah, you could either since or because. That would be fine. Yeah. So what questions do you have on which sentence is punctuated correctly? You can write in a question. You can ask it out loud. What question? Anything?
So on Wednesday, when we have like a full like class,
no, you
a
won't see
live class,
you
or
won't
will we just
all
be
on
like
no, and it's funny, Michael, because when I made that video, I did use the word live, and I tried to reshoot it so that it wouldn't confuse you. You won't. I mean, you're more than welcome to come see me at 1 to 2 o'clock, but at 8 o'clock, I'm going to Socrative, or 8:30. I'm going to Socrative. I'm going to turn on the test. At 8 o'clock, you'll get the notification that the test is, that the test is up. It will remind you how to log in. It will remind you to put last name first. It will remind you that the room number is 2B. Then I'm going to keep that open on my laptop from 8 to 3:30. And at 3:30, I'm going to turn it off. Now, what happened last time is some of you, I saw as soon as you logged in, some people logged in right at 8:30, took the test in 10 minutes, and we're done. Some people logged in at 1 and took a little bit longer. Some of you did like the first 2 questions and got them wrong and then signed back in. I was like, I see what you're doing, but we're homeschooling, so I'm cutting you slack. So I see what you're doing as you're doing it. And I can see as you're answering. So it's up to you what time works best. If you would like to do it after you do some studying, today, tomorrow, and then you have some questions for me. Hold on one second, guys. What did I tell you? Go. I know, and I told you then you had to move to something else. I'll help you later. Sorry. All right. So back to what I was saying. You might want to check in with me and ask me a question on my live chat. That's fine. But no, on Wednesday, you may not see me. Now, when you're taking the quiz, after each question, I have written out an explanation like I would, like if I were explaining what the common mistakes were. So you'll see explanations after each sentence. Okay? There's one more section on your quiz. So what else? So I don't want you to think I'm giving up right now. So any other questions on the conjunctions? All right. Michael?
no, I'm good.
So then the last one is going to be on interjections. And those are usually very easy except for one thing. This year, we reviewed that interjections show excitement or emotion. They're generally set apart from a sentence by an exclamation point or by a comma when the feeling's not as strong, right? We remember that. So if I had something like, I walked into the wall, ouch. Right? What is my interjection in that section? Everyone yell it out for me. Unmute and yell it out for me.
Ouch. Ouch.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Gosh, is everyone okay? Yes, you're right.
We're there, right? Yes, okay.
Yes, it's ouch. Sometimes people write wall. Be like, well, it has an exclamation point after it. No, it just happens to be the last word in an exclamatory sentence. So it's not like, whoa! I mean, like, I guess that could be an interjection if you were the one watching me walk into the wall. But no, in this sense, it's not. But here's the problem. Here's the way you step it in 6th grade. What about this sentence? Some of you might have brothers or sisters or nosy parents at home might say, stop, I'm trying to listen.
Me.
You don't have to admit to it. I have
Me.
My mom is.
stop, I'm trying to teach. Right. Now is Mary just
Eavesdropping.
you are more than welcome. Now what about this sentence? Stop trying to listen.
Mm.
I see confused faces and you should be confused.
Stop.
Not confused, but
Stop.
so Dylan's like, stop, right? Everyone yell stop.
Stop it.
1, 2, 3.
Stop.
Stop it.
But
Stop it.
even though we're showing strong feeling or emotion,
No,
that is not an interjection. Dun dun dun.
Mm.
Why is stop not an interjection?
Oh, because it's a complete thought.
Oh, Dylan can tell for the win. It is actually a sentence.
Hot Talkie gets it again.
Being you. Stop. Does anyone remember what kind of sentence it is?
Exclamatory.
Not.
Imperative.
It's imperative.
Oh yeah, he's right.
2 for 2, boys.
Imperative. Yes. It's giving a command. You stop. Right? So on your test will be about like 8 to 10 sentences. It'll say find the interjection. It will have 3 choices, and then one of the choices is going to say there is no interjection in this sentence.
Mm.
And that will be because it's an imperative sentence. So I guarantee you that will be on there.
Mm.
Now, a good trick to tell us if it's imperative is the word of the verb. Right? Action. Stop. Go. Don't. Right? All of those would be imperative sentences.